I was born in a small town, Fayette, Alabama, that's in northern Alabama. My mom and dad were both teachers. I'm the youngest of 7 children, so family was always very, very important. When you're the youngest of 7 children, first, there's not a lot of pictures of you. Second, there's always been a standard that's been set, so the expectations are pretty high. Third, you learn not to show up late for dinner. My mother is still alive. She'll be 90 in April. She still pretty much lives by herself. She's independent, and she's still in fantastic health. Well, I always sort of fancied myself as a decent athlete. So as a senior in high school, I was a 5-sport letterman, and I was looking at several colleges, and it was my father who asked me had I considered the military and had I considered West Point. They had been calling me, they had been recruiting me. There were a lot of things about West Point that I liked. There were a lot of things about the academy that seemed natural for me. You know, life at the academy is a challenging life. I remember looking back at my transcript after graduating, and I graduated with 168 hours in 4 years. As we all know, it only takes 120 to get a bachelor's degree. That's, of course, all of the military intelligence classes and the strategy classes that are not part of your major or your minor. And then, of course, I was playing a D1 sport. Our team got better and better, came to a head nicely as a senior. We beat Air Force, we beat Navy, our big rivalry, and we had the opportunity to go down to the White House for a presentation of the Commander-in-Chief's trophy from President Reagan at the time. But one of the most wonderful things that happened is I met my wife. While I was a cadet at West Point, she was a student at Vassar College. We then dated my last 2 years at West Point. She is now my wife of almost 30 years. As a matter of fact, it'll be 30 years on May 30th of this year. Well, I served 5 years active duty. I was eventually promoted to captain after I left active duty. I had been accepted to law school at the University of Houston. From my time in the military and from my parents, public service and education have always been very important to me. The governor appointed me to the board of the teacher retirement system, which is a board that makes all the investment decisions for the retirement money, from teachers to bus drivers to lunchroom workers, where I served 6 years on that board and then had the opportunity to serve as chairman for the last 4. And then I received a call from a governor's office that asked me whether I'd be interested in serving as a regent on the board of the University of Houston. And shortly after that, maybe in the same day, I received a call from Welcome Wilson Sr. And I guess they had this all choreographed because he then asked me a second time, and I said yes, where I served from 2009 until 2015. Wonderful, wonderful time to be on the board. Got to work with some incredible regents. I mean, Tier 1, Phi Beta Kappa chapter, $1 billion in new construction on campus, new football stadium, breaking ground on several new buildings, turning that campus into a residential campus. It was just a tremendous 6 years for me. My only son, George, was born actually during September of my 2nd year of law school. He's actually now getting his MBA at Bauer. My oldest daughter, Courtney, was born 3 years later. She also is back at the University of Houston taking classes to prepare for dental school. And then my youngest daughter, Kendall, followed in her sister's footsteps and is also at Howard University, where she's a freshman political science major. I know how few people receive this award. I'm so amazingly honored to be joining that elite group, and to now have the opportunity to be a distinguished alumni is just fantastic. You know, the University of Houston is on a meteoric rise. It was fantastic for me to be a part of it the last 6 years, and the best is yet to come.